Hi, I'm Tom Gurley, Chairman of the Newtown Township Board of Supervisors. This is the Clark Nature Preserve. The Township purchased this property in 1997. This property was one of our first major open space purchases, and unfortunately, it was also one of our last major open space purchases. In the early part of the 20th century, this property was a sheep farm. When Mary and Lyman Clark stopped farming the property, the meadows eventually transitioned into a young woodland. We see a lot of oak, ash, hickory, and walnut on this property today. There are also a lot of wildlife: fox, turkey, many songbirds, and of course, the white-tailed deer. This is a beautiful property. When I moved to Newtown 25 years ago, much of the township looked like this. Newtown Grant was a large farm with several stands of hardwood trees. Country Bend was a part of Steyer's Orchard. Overlook was still a horse farm, and you could stand on Sycamore Street, look across the fields, and see Tyler State Park.
My name is Jeff Marshall. Professionally, I am the Vice President of Resource Protection at Heritage Conservancy, and what I do is I help people preserve open spaces and historic places. I do this all over the country and live here in Newtown, and in fact live on preserved property. And what I want to talk to you a little bit today is about why we should preserve open space. And in having done this for a long time, I've learned there are generally three reasons why people want to preserve open space: economic reasons, environmental reasons, and emotional reasons. And by far the most important to most people are economic reasons. The value of open space is incredible. Studies from across the country show that property values enhance in communities that have preserved open space. Educational costs are diminished when land is preserved and less schools have to be built. People who live next to preserved land always pay a premium for their houses. So even if you don't live in open space, having open space nearby is important. Driving past open space on your way to and from work, giving you that sense of bucolic beauty that we all love, all have economic value. There are environmental values. We talk about gray infrastructure, having to prepare and prevent stream flooding and all the other things that have a real cost. By preserving open space, a lot of these costs are diminished. Carbon sequestration is the new phrase that we're all learning. The value of carbon dioxide minimization and preserving oxygen and all the other real values that we're just coming across. In the future, we're going to have a lot of issues with water. If you think the price of gas is incredibly expensive, wait till water starts becoming more and more expensive and the impact it has on your life. So the economic reasons, environmental reasons are important. And lastly, the emotional reasons. The beauty of open space makes us all feel good. I've talked about economic and environmental. That's food for the body. Beauty is food for the soul. Preserving open space, preserving a sense of beauty, quality of life is important to everybody, or should be important to everybody. So at the end, we have all these wonderful reasons why open space should be preserved and very little reasons why it shouldn't. When people talk about the economic costs, they're unfortunately just talking about short-term economic costs, not the long-term costs. How much it costs to build a new high school, how much it costs to keep all the infrastructure in place, the cost of community services, all which go on forever, as compared to a bond issue where it's a finite period of time that you have that cost and then it's gone. So it's an economic value. So people do have issues with open space, and mostly it's the process. And my answer to that is the process should be fair, open, and transparent. And that's what we have to do. And I think we as citizens of Newtown should get involved. And if you have any concerns about the process, become involved. We're going through an open space planning process right now. That's where you get involved. That's where the decisions are made. And my philosophy when I do this all over the country, and I am an open space consultant for 9 municipalities in Bucks, Montgomery, and Northampton, is ask the taxpayers what they want to save. It's their money. That's what the open space process is about. That's why we can't decide beforehand what properties we want to preserve. We haven't asked the people who are paying for it what's important to them. So get involved. And Newtown is surrounded by a number of communities that have done this. Wrightstown, Upper Makefield, Buckingham, and Solbury all have preserved open space for millions and millions of dollars. And I think that's part of the reason why those areas have become destinations, because people want to live in an area where they know the future, where they know the sites that they see and love will preserve for future generations. This is our chance to do it. It's only a one-shot deal. You can't come back and do it again. You don't get a second or third bite of the apple. We need to preserve the land now while it's here. And hopefully you'll go out and support this in November. And if there's anything anybody wants to do to get involved, they should attend the meetings as part of the open space planning process. Have your voices heard and make a better future for all our children.
You might recognize this property. It's the Melski tract on Stupeville Road. This 100-acre property is half in Newtown, half in Upper Makefield. In 2002, we had an opportunity to buy this property with Upper Makefield for a contribution from Newtown of $1 million. We had to tell Upper Makefield no because we didn't have the money. Toll Brothers now owns this property, and soon there will be 100 homes on this tract of land. Those 100 homes will contribute roughly 200 kids to our school system, adding traffic and burdening township infrastructure.
One of the more important reasons to preserve open space is for our food production. More and more recently, we have become more and more aware of the importance of locally grown, high-quality food. And it can be a trucker strike, it can be drought in other parts of the country. Having land open for production of food will become a more and more important issue in the future. It's important today, but it will grow in importance in the future. And this is the time to save that land. It won't be available if we don't save it now.
The Clark property was our last major purchase of open space in Newtown Township. We have had other opportunities, but we have been unable to act on those opportunities because the money has not been available. This November, there's a referendum to support open space purchases. This referendum calls for a 0.1% increase in the earned income tax. 0.1%. For the average Newtown house, that's roughly $8 a month, $2 a week, or roughly a cup of coffee a week. I would gladly give up a cup of coffee a week to preserve open space in Newtown Township. Please come out in November, join me and support the referendum for open space preservation. Thank you.